Bonjour, everybody. My name is
Bonjour.
Bonjour. How do you say it?
That was just
Bonjour.
very white American.
We are here today to look at 8 differences between American homes and French homes because I'm curious. You've actually been to France, so you kind of have some stake in this.
A tiny bit, yeah. I couch surfed with a guy in Bordeaux, France. So
In
I've seen
Bordeaux.
one house and then an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast technically, but
That's pretty awesome. I've never been out of the United States, so I'm trying to broaden my horizons. However, I am curious to see how things are built. I've been watching, this has nothing to do with France, but I've been watching a lot of Jeremy Clarkson's farms. Jeremy Clarkson's farms.
you have. That's true.
So I've been kind of looking at European homes and I'm like, damn, they all look awesome. So you guys, with that being said, let's see if we can get educated. Let's see the differences between French homes and American homes. I'm excited. Are you excited? Are you
I'm
excited?
very excited.
Let's frickin' bonjour.
Salut tout le monde! Welcome back to Unintentionally Frenchified. I'm officially
Unintentionally
on August vacation
Frenchified.
in the US, and I thought it was the perfect time while I was getting to shop at Target, go to the grocery store in the snack
Girl,
aisle, getting to
you ever
wear
been
my
to Target?
workout clothes everywhere, that I'd also do a video about American homes in the US. I always notice when I come back certain
Big.
things or accessories or functionalities of American homes that we never see in France. Before I start the tour, I want to just take 2 minutes to talk to you about the amazing sponsor of this video, Lingoda.
Absolutely
so
not.
Video, it's
We're done. Lingoda? I don't care about Lingoda. All right, so she gets into the post office. Do you guys not have mailboxes in France? No mailboxes, you guys? Let's
So
see
I
what
wanted
she
to
has to say.
start outside because it is very convenient things about American homes that I don't see in France. Has to do with the post office, which is not my favorite part of France. The post office has made me cry numerous times. But what's so great in the US is that with your mailbox, you of course, the mailman drops off letters.
Yeah.
But if you want to send letters, all you have to do is open the mailbox, put in your letters, and then you just raise the little red flag.
Yeah, and the
it
mailman
tells the
comes and gets
postman
it.
that you want him to pick up the letters that are inside. It's very convenient. And I know in France, they're starting now where you can choose a time, tell the post office, leave something inside, etc., and plan like a whole appointment.
Did you
to
ever
get your
notice
mail
that?
picked up, but
No.
I think it's kind of nice that you just have this nifty arrow. Behind me, you can see
So you have to schedule an appointment and a time to have your mail picked up?
That's blown. What about if you like ordered something from Amazon or something?
That's a
Do you guys have
pain in the
Amazon?
butt.
Yeah, they have to have
Because what happens if, like, I wonder if it's something where they're like days out. They're like, oh, we're so busy, we can't pick up your mail for 3 days. And it's like, no, I got to send this birthday card today. Or if it's like they can just always come that same day, unless it's off, obviously, like after certain hours. That's weird.
Well, maybe if it's something like that, you just hand carry it. You hand courier your stuff to the person that you need the birthday card for.
Well, if they're in a different country or something, or hours and hours away.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think you typically mail a birthday card if they're like
I-
driving distance to you.
I never thought about the U.S. Postal Service as something that other countries potentially didn't have. Like, I wouldn't even have thought that that was a difference. I would have never even have thought of that.
Of the United States Postal Service.
Like the fact that there's not a postal service.
Oh, just in general?
Just in general. Like
Yeah.
mailboxes, like, because I assume like everybody's getting mail and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I didn't like pay attention to, in any of the countries that I was in if people had mailboxes or not. So I'm curious if this is just like a France thing or if it's pretty widespread through Europe.
And
That's
now,
bizarre.
so in this shot, you guys, by the garage, there's an ADT sign. That's a home security camera service. Do you guys have home security cameras? Like, it's really useful. I don't know if that's a thing. ADT.
I bet they do. Maybe not ADT specifically, but
Yeah.
other companies.
All right.
some of the neighbors' houses next to my mom's house. I always feel like I've made it home to the Midwest when I drive up and there are no fences or walls or things blocking the front yard. In the US where I'm from, you can't really see inside people's backyards, but the front yards tend to be really open. That's not to say that sometimes you won't see fences.
I think that's pretty
Usually you
true.
can see what's going on in people's
Front yards typically aren't as
the
much.
3 neighbors behind me, there are no fences in their front yards. One of the things that
I think
feel like
that's
is
subjective,
typically
'cause some
American
people have
as
the white
well when I
picket.
drive up or I come to homes in the US is that there tends to be a lot more cars versus the number of people who live in the house. So you can see here that there are
That's
2 people
true.
that live at my mom's.
All of
I
our
have
neighbors.
1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the driveway, and all 4 of those cars are their own cars. And in France, I tend to find that a lot of times there's 1 car for 2 people, or maybe you've got 1 car for 1 person.
Also, though, and I can't say for like everywhere in France or everywhere in Europe, like specifically, because obviously I haven't been everywhere, but of the places that I visited in Europe, like a lot of them are walking distance. A lot of people like bike. Things are just more like, you know, it doesn't take you 45 minutes to go from one side of town to the other because of traffic and
geographically,
stuff like that.
It's
Yeah.
more condensed.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say is, you know, in America, I don't know where this is at. I'm thinking maybe Midwest or the West, but where we're at, like it takes 25 minutes to go 2 miles in
Yeah.
our city.
Just about.
2 miles, 25 minutes. So you need cars. I mean, 4 cars is ridiculous. I don't think you really need it. But I do know people who have a car for their daily driver. They have a car for, you know, whenever they want to take road trips or camping or something like that.
Hauling stuff.
Hauling stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like geographically, it's vast.
Yeah.
There's so much space in between. It's not like everything's just in walking distance. Our like what the way that America did it was their zones, they had these commercial zones and residential zones, and they were so far apart from each other because they didn't want like pollution and stuff from the industrial zones coming into the residential. So they're so spread out that there's no way. And I mean, there's other people living in this household probably. I don't think there's like 4 cars for 1 person. That's a little excessive.
Well, she's at her parents' house, so I would imagine it would be 2 people living there.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like trains and stuff are a lot more popular in other countries, like to take a train places. Like we took trains and buses and it was like very typical.
Yeah.
And so I think that's different.
Our public transit is not really that great in America. It's not like accessible, and it's not really useful either. You know, we have bus stops and we have buses that go around town, but like they're crap.
It's not
They're
the same.
crap. All right. That's interesting.
And you know, 1 car for the other, but there's not 2 cars for each person. This tends to be very American. So as I walk into the house, you can't feel it the same way that I can. But there is, first of all, a golden retriever. It's pretty American. Say hi, Piper. Say hello to everyone.
Yeah, dogs. What's
It's
wrong with
also
dogs?
the blast of cold.
I knew
icy
air conditioner
that
was gonna be
I
on
feel
here.
right now as the air conditioning takes over. There is so much air conditioning in the US. I have personally maybe been in 1 home in France that actually has air conditioning. Yes,
Really?
there's
A lot
air
of Europe,
conditioning in
yeah.
offices, there's air conditioning in restaurants, in grocery stores, but when it comes to people's actual homes, they tend to live without air conditioning. And in the US, air conditioning is in almost every home that I've ever been in.
Because
and it
it's
is
a necessity.
blasted. So in terms of the difference of temperature outside and inside, it's huge. The next thing
Whoa, Tiger.
Yeah.
It is a necessity.
It is. We bought our house and it didn't have an air conditioner, and I think we stayed in here for like 2 or 3 nights, and we were like,
Absolutely.
we're buying an air conditioner.
I mean, we're talking, I don't know what it is in Celsius, but we're talking like a home that's insulated can get, because it's scorching hot outside too. And I came from Florida, which is a tropical state. We moved up into the West and it was still scorching hot.
Yeah.
And your house would get like that. Your house would be like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
That is not comfortable at all.
And our bedrooms are on the 3rd level, so it was like even hotter. And
Yeah.
we were just like dying. We're like, no.
So it's really like a necessity. I don't like, that's a temperature and climate thing. I would love to live like in France where you don't need air conditioning.
Yeah.
Because guys, it is expensive.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is.
expensive. So like, not necessarily a knock on French homes, but if I could live in a area where we didn't require an AC, I would love it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I definitely think in America, or at least in certain areas, because there are certain areas where you don't need it, but I definitely think it's a necessity. And let us know what you guys think about it.
What I'm going to show you is maybe my most favorite thing about American homes that I wish we had in France. And it's actually part of the windows, which sounds kind of weird. But if I open up this window, you guys will see that there is a screen, dun, da, da, on the window.
No,
so
there's got to be screens.
Lets us open up the window, get some fresh air in here when the air conditioning's not on, and it keeps out the mosquitoes, the bugs, the flies, etc. In France, I have never seen a screen on a window, guys. We have flies that come into our apartment in Paris, we have mosquitoes during the summer, and I think it's so convenient and so nice, and I have never ever seen one in a French home. So you'll let me know in the comments below if you have, but these are not very common, and when I see them, I'm like, we are in the US. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is in the kitchen.
That's interesting.
And this is another one that I think is very convenient and that I've never seen in France before. So here we are at the sink, and not only is the sink really massive, and I don't see that as often in France, like these really big sinks, and also the sink, when you like turn it on, you've got this contraption here where you're able to move it, and then you're also able to change the type of water. This is not something I see as common in France, but that's not really the big thing about the sink. The big thing is the garbage disposal. Almost every
I was about to
home
say, what are
has
you getting
garbage
at?
disposal. So pretty much you're able to put food down the sink, and then you turn it on, and it just blows all the food to smithereens.
I feel like you should have the water on when you do that, though.
Yeah. So
Are you not wrecking it otherwise? I feel like you're wrecking it
Yeah.
without running water.
No, I mean, you can, but it's not great if you have stuff in there.
Yeah.
Garbage disposals. Yes, we do have garbage disposals. They're about $100. They go underneath the sink, and it's just blades that are underneath the sink that cut everything up, right? You guys know what a garbage disposal is. One thing that I find very interesting is when she was talking about the faucet and like all that. Guys, this is a nice home.
Yeah, it is.
This
Very
is a
nice.
beautiful kitchen. This is not in every American's homes.
God,
you
no.
guys. God F no. The
I was
sink-
actually going to mention when she said the sink, I thought she was going to talk about the spray nozzle itself, because I've rented a home before that didn't have that. It was just the regular running water.
Yeah. So
and it
regular
also didn't
faucet.
have like the part where you can attach it and like detach it and move it. It's such a pain in the butt, because stuff gets on the side of the sink, and then you have to like fill a cup and bring it around and rinse it down, or take a rag or something
It's
and
a
wipe
wand.
it.
That's what they
Yeah,
call.
I want the wand, and I want the option to be able to swap it to spray, and that is such a nice amenity. And knowing that they're not like typical in France is interesting.
But I'm like curious as to like you could just go buy one and install it. Like it's like that's all that is just you just go to Lowe's or Home Depot or your hardware store and pick one up, and there you go. The sink itself is like that's like an industrial.
That's a nice sink.
Well, I forget what like a soaking sink or something like that, but our sink, for
Farm-
instance,
like,
has like
oh.
2 bins in it.
Yeah,
so it's not.
ours has like
really-
the center part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a sink like that. That would have been so much better when our baby was a baby and we were bathing him in the sink.
Yeah, put them right in
That
there.
would have been so much easier.
But like, don't get it twisted. This is a nice ass house.
Yeah, it
this
is.
is rich.
I wish we had that
Rich.
kitchen.
There's no way. Like, not 99% of Americans don't have that kitchen. Just saying. All right, I'm done.
You don't have to put all of the food in the garbage, and I find that really convenient when you're cleaning and stuff, and I've never seen that in France before. Another difference is the amount of ice that Americans consume, and when I'm in France, of course,
such an
people in
ice
their
eater.
homes do tend to have ice if you ask, but they don't tend to really have like massive ice makers. And when you go to a restaurant, for example, in France, and you ask for ice, you get like 2 or 3 cubes. And when you go to the US, you have like an entire glass full of ice. Sometimes it's too much ice.
Go ahead,
that
girl.
can even be
Okay,
possible.
yeah, I want to
And
pause.
if you look
Okay, so I know, I don't know if this is the instance for France, but I know in some countries and cultures and whatever, it's standard to drink drinks like warmer. Like I think China is one of them. They don't really like ice is not really a thing because it's actually healthier and more beneficial to drink warmer beverages.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if that's the case on like why that's that way
Even
in
like
France.
soda, though?
I don't know about soda. I know like water and tea and stuff like that. It's typical to drink. It's just like better for you. I think I read something about like cold water can like clog up food and stuff like that and just make it I don't remember what the deal was, but yeah, it's like health wise, it's better to drink beverages warm.
Well, there you have it. Let us know down in the comments what you think.
Look at my mom's refrigerator, for example. You already have right here, ice that you can get at the front of the refrigerator, which I see less in France, but you can find, of course. But also just the amount of ice. So if you look into my mom's freezer, not only do you have like a massive, massive like bowl of ice here for the ice maker, but not only do you have one there, but you also have a second one.
In the ice
up
machine.
Here, there's also the ice. So she's got
That's
two
for the
different
dispenser.
ice makers
Yeah.
so that she never runs out of ice. I feel like that is something that you don't really see as often in France.
I mean, it's not
but
really
that doesn't really
necessary.
shock me too much.
It's not. I
one
love ice
of
though. I
the
eat ice
final
constantly.
things that is very typically American in homes is we've got the good old couch over here. And imagine that I'm having a very tired day and I want to relax at night and I want my feet up. Instead of putting my feet over here on this perfect ottoman, I'm just gonna lean over and I'm just gonna recline.
Don't tell me you don't have recliners.
What?
My feet slowly. Yes, Piper, just reclining. Oh, and it goes back a little bit, and then I'm just gonna relax and watch my TV. Again,
Wow.
Like,
Okay, yeah,
look
they're
at this
rich.
house, you
I don't
guys.
know why, but I feel like that is very typically American to be able to just recline my feet. And when I was growing up, they weren't electric like they are now. It was like a big old handle that you would pull back like this, and then your feet would go
Yeah.
flying up. But super comfortable and practical, but not something I see very often in France.
That's interesting.
Yes,
I
how
wonder
many
why on
televisions
that.
We have in a home here for 2 people. I'm going to show you. Television number
We have
1,
like 8.
number
Yeah,
2,
we have a lot of
number
TVs.
3, number 4, number 5, and just in case one TV with the workout machines is not enough, we've also got TV number 6.
Well, I
And
mean, that's
finally,
not really on.
TV number. No, I'm kidding. There's
I was like,
in here. That's just all of the thermoses, the insulated cups.
Oh,
that
those
we
are
have in
nice,
the
though.
US. No, but seriously, when it comes to TVs, there are a lot of TVs in lots of different rooms, and most of the time,
look at their
in the US,
toaster even is
people have
fancy. Did you see
televisions
that?
inside of their bedrooms, as well as in the dining room, as well as in the den, as well as sometimes in the kitchen. And in France, I really normally see one TV in the entire house. So it's just, as soon as I see lots of TVs in homes, I just think, yep, this is the US. All right, guys, that is a wrap on all of the differences between French and American.
So before we send her off, yes, I do want to say, yeah, we do have a lot of TVs, but I think that it's more so for the culture of France. Like, I feel like, the French people probably spend more of their time outside of their homes.
yeah, exactly.
And, probably just vision their homes as just like a place for resting and being able to just come home, go to bed, and then off to their lives and during the day. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a cultural thing. I can't, sure, there's probably a French person with 8 TVs just like Americans, right? But really, they're more active people.
Yeah.
I would think that, we have an obesity crisis in America. And I think like a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're homebodies and we live at home. And
Well, and I think a lot of other countries are,
we don't go outside ever.
well, I think a lot of other countries are lucky in the fact that they work to live and we live to work. I think as Americans, it's very typical. And I'm not saying no other country is like this or no people in any other countries, because they're out there, absolutely. But in America, it is very, very typical to have 2 or 3 jobs, to be working,
Nonstop.
60 hours a week. Yeah, to just constantly be going because you just have to.
Can you
And so-
imagine how much that house is worth?
No. So you come home from work and, you've worked majority of the day. You don't want to do anything else. So you just
Yeah.
put on the TV. And I think that's just very common.
I think it's very common. And also just like I was mentioning earlier, the way America set up its geographical footprint, in France, you could probably walk outside your home and be in a market or be, closer to your neighbors or doing something like that. one thing that's interesting that I don't know if it's true or not, but American homes are massive. Just the way that they built, the footprint, the acres of land that they're built on. For like two people, you don't need 2,000 or 3,000 square foot
Yeah.
for a home.
I think they're not all like that, but yeah.
But they build them bigger. And I was curious to see if she was going to say something about that. You know, she kind of alluded to it, you know, with the whole recliners and TVs and all that stuff. I'm kind of like thinking that homes in France are just a little bit more conservative because of the use cases for them.
Yeah.
Like again, homes are just, you know, resting areas and then you live your life and go outside. Where here it's more like you build yourself a little, you know, entertainment hub where you do everything in your home.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. We have 30 seconds left in this. If it's nothing but her sending us off, then we'll shut it early. Let's go. Let's see if she has any words of wisdom for us.
American homes that I wanted to point out to you. Let me know in the comments below what you thought and some of the differences that you notice when you're traveling back and forth. If you're interested in Lagoda, don't forget to check that out. Everything is in the description below. Otherwise, have a fabulous week, have a fabulous summer vacation if you are on those August holidays in France, and I will see you la semaine prochaine. Bisous!
Oh, bisous! You guys go check out her channel. It is unintentionally Frenchified, boys. Unintentionally Frenchified.
I want to live in France.
Oh my goodness. Right off the bat, I want to live in France.
I do. I want to live all over the world outside of the United States for a while. Yeah, so I had comments.
You had some things you wanted to say?
I did, and they just all left
Left.
my mind. I remember one. So when we couch surfed with this guy in France, we stayed at his house. He had a spare room. My friend and I shared that room. Super, super amazing gentleman. He was like an ex-DJ, so he like DJ'd for us. He cooked us this really nice meal. He had brought out all these like French wines for us to try. Just amazing human being. But I'm curious if this is like typical in French homes or if it was just his, you know, like maybe just a few homes are like this, but his shower was typical to what we would see in like a motorhome or a camper here. Like very small, and it was one of those corner pieces, so it's like in the corner and then kind of like bubbles out almost like a rounded triangle.
Yeah, I know what they are.
So it was like small like that, and it was interesting because I'd never seen one of those like that outside of like a camper. So
You think those are typical in France?
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I'm very curious if that was just like his home setup or if that's common.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't remember what my other comments were, which I'm really bummed because I feel like one was good.
One of those was really good, you guys. So I was kind of hoping there are some things that as I was watching this definitely were, I don't know, weird. Go ahead.
No, you
You got it. Definitely weird. That's all I got.
It's not actually that good. I was excited to remember. I was just gonna say that I was a little bit bummed with this video just because I actually thought that she was gonna be in France showing French homes,
Yeah.
not in America showing American homes, which as an American, I know what American homes look like. So I thought it was gonna be like physically seeing French homes, which I was a little bit more excited about.
I kind of agree.
Yeah. So if there's
Thank you.
if there is a video out there
Where
where
we
it's
can
kind of the
actually see-
opposite of that, where
yeah.
you can see French homes, then I would really like to see that because I know what American homes look like.
And
And I know there's differences in like other European homes. This whole time this was going, I was trying to think of one because there's something like very, very specific that is super different, and I can't for the life of me think of what it is. Once
Toilets?
I see it, I'm gonna like, no.
no.
Maybe like dishwashers or something. I don't know. There's something that's like super weirdly different.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
This was definitely a bummerville for me not being able to see into a French home. Like you said, the American home, that was a nice
That was a
American
really
home.
nice home.
That
On a lake, like, you know. that
on a
they're
lake,
rich.
that shit's like probably $800,000 to $1 million in today's market.
Probably.
They probably didn't pay that, but in today's market, that's a $1 million home right there, you guys. So
Beautiful.
it's really nice. I wish it was French and we were looking at French homes. I think I would have gotten more out of it.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the stuff that she was bringing up as differences were kind of unique, like the
Yeah.
garbage disposal thing, the postal service thing, the windows not having screens thing. I'm like, is that real? That's a little skeptical.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
can't
curious
imagine.
as to why, like, why no screens? The recliners thing is the most random for me. I'm like, why don't they have recliners? Maybe again, because maybe they're not in their homes that much. But
Yeah.
yeah, some of that I'm just like, that's really, really interesting.
And like a lot of it was very subjective, I think, like the TVs and stuff like that. That's subjective. You could probably find somebody who has 10 TVs.
well,
in
I
their
don't
house.
think she said nobody does. She's just saying like
It's a
much
different-
more of an American thing. Like
Yeah.
every home she's been in doesn't have.
And the air conditioner stuff.
Yeah, that I
get
did
it.
know.
If like the weather was temperate and it was really nice, I hate AC. Do you know how much money we spend on AC?
I mean, it is very expensive, but it is highly
It's a
worth the
necessity.
cost because,
But
like I said, we lasted like 2 or 3 days without
and
it
we were
before we were
sweating,
like,
dying.
we were not sleeping because it was so hot.
So you guys, that was a long video. It's a little different than what we typically cover. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave down in the comments if we can actually see some freaking homes, you guys. I'm really curious about this. Leave any comments and recommendations of anything along these lines that you'd like us to check out, that you think we'd find interesting. And yeah, we watch things on the internet. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.